Hey my friends, it's a late Boy Scout, and this is my top EDC gear list, or everyday carry gear list of 2014. By that I mean this is the stuff that I have carried most frequently in the year 2014. The list would have been different for 2013, it'll probably be different for 2015. But throughout this year of 2014, as we come to the end of the year, I want to share the list of things that have worked best for me on an everyday carry basis. Now, we got to get a couple points out of the way before we move on. Number one, this is my list. It's specific to me. It doesn't necessarily work for you. You got a list of stuff that has been great for you, and that's awesome. And I may get around to trying some of the stuff that you've been using someday. Might go on a future list. Next, we got to cover, what is the scope of this? Because I could go into stuff that I keep in my car, that I like to keep handy, stuff that I keep in my everyday bag, which I take to work typically, and really we could make this a really long, really big video, but we're not going to go that big. The scope is going to be somewhat small. This is going to be only stuff that I carry on my person. Okay, so that is the scope we're limiting this video to, so let's get into it. The stuff here on the table is some of the gear that I carry on an everyday basis. Not all of it. We're going to cover a lot more stuff as this video goes on. But let's get to what's on the table right now. Before we get into, we're going to cover flashlights, we're going to cover multi-tools, we're going to cover, yes, a tactical / multi-use pen, as well as a concealed carry handgun. But we'll get to that in a minute. First, we'll start with some of this stuff. A cotton bandana. This was made by Abercrombie & Fitch many, many years ago. It's holding up pretty well. It's got a few pock marks or holes in it, but it works so well as a multi-purpose device, or just accessory. It's something that you can keep in your back pocket. It takes up no space at all. You can use it as a sun covering. You can use it as a for first aid applications, for carrying multiple things. If you don't have some sort of a bag or whatever, you can open this up, wrap a bunch of stuff in it, tie it closed, hobo style. So many good uses for a nice EDC cotton bandana, not to mention the fact that I wear glasses and need to clean them from time to time. So I think a cotton bandana is an excellent thing to add to your EDC. If you haven't already done that, think about it. Next on the list, a wallet, of course. This one is a Specops Mrw Wallet. Specops recently sent a handful of these to me to try out. I tried out this one, I gave away the rest. It's just a great wallet. I really like it. Look at my video on this wallet. It has replaced my Maxpedition Micro Wallet, and with pretty good reason. I like it quite a lot. So that's the wallet. Next, there's been pretty much always, I walk out of the door with some kind of a Paracord Bracelet on my wrist. And this is a variation of the ripcord, or the, what did I call this one? The slim ripcord design, that's what I call this. Which was, a variation on another one that I learned before. So it's kind of evolved. I just added this extra thread to it to make it a little more interesting looking. I might do a video showing you how I did that someday. If you make paracord bracelets frequently and have made the slim ripcord up to this point, you could probably easily figure that out. So don't, wait for the video. You can probably just get to work on it and test some things out and get that made. But I generally always carry some kind of paracord on me, just for all the many uses that it has. Next, yes, a small Sharpie, a little pocket Sharpie, and you can see that it used to say Sharpie on there, but it's all been worn off because of how much I carry it. And this actually gets quite a bit of use. You have no idea how many situations I find myself in where somebody needs a nice little permanent marker. And I can pop this out of my pocket. It's the size of lip balm almost, and pops in the same pocket, right to the bottom of the pocket, right with it. It's extremely useful and just great for all kinds of, not just some emergency situations, but it's just extremely handy to have. So I have made a small pocket Sharpie part of my EDC, and it's probably going to carry over into most of 2015. Next is Burt's Bees Lip Balm. If you guys live in a dry climate like I do, lip balm is a pretty nice thing to have. My kids use it almost as much as I do. I'll hand it off to them because they'll get chapped lips almost more than I do. But it gets a lot of use. This has taken the place of any sort of chapstick or any other brand that I've tried out, which are good, but Burt's Bees tops it. For me, it's way, way better. Lip balm, yeah, now we have moved on from the standard sort of simple gear that is very useful, but not that sexy. So let's move on to the runner-up flashlight first. The runner-up is this right here, the Streamlight MicroStream, which has got a lot of great pocket time. It's done really well in most situations. It does kind of have a chronic flicker problem. This one doesn't have that problem yet, but this is actually a replacement for one that I had before, which did develop that problem. And I've talked to lots of other people who have had that flicker problem, where you push the button and instead of seeing like a solid light, you get kind of a flickering light. So it's a shame that some of those MicroStreams have had that problem, and it's been pretty common. So this has been replaced. By the way, it's got that S-clip that's great for clipping onto your hat. One of the best things about this light right there. But this has been replaced by this one right here, the TrueNight TI3. Also an excellent small EDC flashlight. It's multi-mode. Doesn't have the rear clicky tail cap, which I really like. It twists on instead, which is kind of I like that. It's okay, but I'd rather have the clicky thing. Anyway, it is multi-mode. It's got a low, medium, high is what I'm trying to say. And also a hidden sort of strobe mode. So good for emergency situations. Also, the pocket clip rides this way, or you can pop it off and put it on this way. You can check out my review of the TrueNight TI3 to get more info on it, but that has been that has replaced the Streamlight as my favorite EDC flashlight for 2014. Let's move on to, in fact, let's keep some of that stuff on screen, why don't we? Let's move on to the multi-tool, or let's get to the multi-tool second to last actually. Runner-up for the pen, tactical pen. The Maxpedition Acantha tactical pen. This is a good, solid pen, and when I have this in hand, I feel like, man, this thing can take all kinds of abuse. Nice kind of a rounded point to it, but that is going to be damaging for anybody that you have to slam that into to fend them off for any reason. I do believe this has a Fisher Space pen in it, which is a very nice feature. I'd love to have that on any tactical pen or, more expensive pen that I would buy. It's a well-built, really nice pen overall. But I have found myself carrying this a little more ever since Schrade sent it to me. That is the SC Pen 4 from Schrade, and it's just a really, really cool tactical pen. Here's some of the features I love on it. Is number one, the fact that it's got this whistle right here. You blow into that and you've got an ear-piercing whistle for signaling, for any other kind of emergency situations, communication or whatever. Really, really cool. You do have, obviously, a pen on there, but you've also got, let's get this unscrewed, a fire starter on it. Okay, and you just undo this, and right here it goes the opposite way from what you normally turn it. And you get that back in over here, and again, if I can get that back on properly, there it is. And then you'd scrape that and get your little fire going. So the SC Pen 4 from Schrade is a pretty awesome, not just a tactical pen, but survival pen, really. It comes in a whole bunch of different colors. So if you don't prefer something kind of gray and drab like this, would rather have something brightly colored, I think they've got lots of bright colors in it. Anyway, so that has been riding with my EDC lately, and I do find that to be considerably more useful than the Acantha from Maxpedition. So that has been the pen that I've been using most frequently in 2014. Now on to the runner-up for multi-tools would be this one right here, the Victorinox Cadet. It's an awesome little knife. It's an awesome little pocket knife. And it is a multi-tool. Obviously, Swiss Army knives are a type of multi-tool. So it's got some nice, it's got your can opener on it, which is very effective. I've used before. Your driver on there, and your knife, obviously, non-locking, and your little file slash, basically just a file. Anyway, it's a great little tool, a great little pocket knife. I like it quite a lot, but it is the runner-up, and it's the runner-up to, you saw this one coming, the Leatherman Squirt Ps4. This is probably my third or fourth PS4, I don't remember for sure, but I will always, if I lose this one, I'll replace it again. That's how much I love it, that's how useful I find it to be. And no, I don't feel like I need something as big as a juice in my pocket for an everyday carry situation. I just don't. I don't find myself ever in almost never in a situation where I can't get the job done with a Squirt Ps4. Or if I can't get it done, I'll go to an actual set of pliers or an actual screwdriver or whatever. But for most situations, from an EDC basis, this has been totally fine, this small little multi-tool. Extremely durable, love Leatherman's warranty and their customer service. I'm just a Leatherman loyalist, and I love that. Next, we have gotten through all the really kind of crucial EDC stuff. Now you guys probably want to see the handgun that I carry for EDC, and that is, well, let's start with the runner-up. The runner-up handgun that I've been using in 2014 is this one right here, the Car CM9. It's not loaded. I'm not going to check it for you. Just don't worry, it's not loaded. The CM9 by Car is a fantastic 9mm handgun for concealed carry. It's nice and slim. It carries, what is it, 6+1, 7+1? I'm starting to forget right now. Yeah, 6+1. So 7 if you're carrying it like this with loaded chamber, obviously, and then 8, 7 more in that magazine. So pretty good capacity. Pretty good capacity. The trigger on it I do like. It's longer than others, but it works well. I can be pretty accurate with it. It's a good EDC handgun. And like I said, just small, slim, easy to carry, especially in a nice, comfortable holster like the ones Joe Carden makes, which you ought to check out. Next, but that is the runner-up. So let's get to the one that I think is the winner, and it is... Oh yeah, you probably saw that coming too. The Smith & Wesson M&P 9 Shield. This has taken the place of that Car CM9 as my top EDC handgun for 2014. Absolutely and without a doubt. This gun is just so... It's a little bit heavier, it's a little bit bigger than the Car CM9, but what you get in return for that is a much more easy to shoot gun that you can be accurate with more easily, and carries, I think, really, really well still, especially, like I said before, in a Joe Carden holster, which this P51 is a fantastically comfortable holster, and so that probably goes along with the gun as my EDC gun system right there. And obviously a spare magazine. Always, if I'm going to carry the gun, always have a spare magazine going along with it. And I recommend that you do that as well. And that is my top EDC gear list of 2014, guys. Hope it's been helpful. And by the way, I would really like to hear about your top EDC gear for 2014. If you want to stick to these categories, great. If you want to expand it, expand the scope a little bit and talk about other things you carry, forgot to put the marker on there, go ahead and do that. And I just love to read what you guys like to carry. It would probably help me out in making decisions in the future. Guys, happy 2015. I hope 2014's been great for you. I'm the Late Boy Scout. We'll see you all later. It works great, fires fast, retracts so easily. I had no idea how fun and how simple and convenient an OTF would be until I got into this one. It's a no-brainer for the price, like I said. And if your jurisdiction allows it, I highly encourage you to get a light